Good morning, friends. Sosin from Sosin classes, Hyderabad. If at all you are a student of anthropology, especially in the field of UPSC, you might have at some point of time or the other might have heard my name either for your classroom program or for the mentorship programs or for the test series programs, if not anything else for the books that you purchase for UPSC, or the last minute brush up through Anthro Run programs, etc. And yeah, to all of you, a warm welcome. Now, in today's discussion with you, I wanted to do something that is really entertaining, and I'm sure you would really love this exercise. Several of your seniors and you also might have, through your experience, realized that the tests that I generally conduct either in the classroom program or in the dedicated mentorship programs whatsoever, the tests that I conduct, they go so very close to UPSC. And I aim at giving that kind of, an experience of UPSC writing much earlier to you actually writing the UPSC main examination. So now what we are trying to do is, we will have a comparison of the UPSC Mains 2021 question paper with the questions that we have discussed in the test series or the mentorship program, or some of them which I might have incorporated in the classroom discussions. Bear in mind that 100% semblance is not really possible in any kind of a test series. But it has always been my passion to work on the expected areas based on various techniques that I employ, to see to it that more than 80% of the questions that you do in your exam, in your practice tests, reflect in the actual UPSC main examination. So without waiting much, let us get into this exercise of comparison. Now what you can see on the screen is, on the left hand side you will find the UPSC's question paper. On the right hand side, where in exactly which paper of the mentorship program that we have discussed this particular area. Let me now begin with the very first question here, that is animism and deep ecology. Animism and deep ecology, that was the first question. And generally, see, whenever such kind of questions are asked, we expect the student to go into exact books titles, etc. If at all you do not remember, this very first question, generally the trend that we have observed is that the very first question in the last couple of years has been opened with something that really strikes at the psychology of the student, his mental frame at that point of time. So do not get panic about it. This is the question that combines cultural ecological studies and animism, and how animism is linked to totemistic practices. So if at all you are able to give that semblance in your answer, the question can be attempted. We had discussed that in our regular classroom program. Coming to a second question, as you can see on the screen, question number 1B, we have mentioned this in the Sosin classes mentorship program, paper number 5, question number 9. I will zoom it for you so that you can have a look at it. Now the second question here is marriage regulations and aliens theories, and which is mentioned in our test program in the aliens theories based question, that is question number 9. Let me quickly take you to the other questions as well. As you could see here, question number 1C, we have incorporated that in the Sosin classes important areas list 1. As most of you must be knowing that every year I release important areas list. Even for this upcoming year 2022 main exam, in the month of June 2022, I'm going to release the first list. That is pretty early. Generally I do it in the month of July. This year I'm going to do in the month of June. So in the last year's important areas list, in the question number 33, this particular question was mentioned. As you could see here, historical particularism and Franz Boas, that was the question. And in question number 33, you can see Boas as historical particularist. It's almost the same terminology you'll find there. Coming to the other question, for 1D, we have mentioned in Sosin classes mentorship program, paper 29 and question number 4B. So let us have a look at that. This question is about biological anthropology and various approaches that are followed in biological anthropology. Biocultural approach is the hallmark of biological anthropology. Explain. At several places I have incorporated this particular question in different ways, and as you could see here for B, scope of physical anthropology, similar question and similar variants of biological anthropology and what constitutes it, what are the approaches. At several other places also we have incorporated. Here you will have to understand something. Sometimes what we do in the test series programs is that same question we may ask 3 or 4 times. The idea is that that question is expected in that year's exam, and then you should not make any mistake with that, so we make you repeat. Secondly, what I try to do is the same question I would be asking with some bit of variation. That will also be of great help to you, so that in that particular area, if any variant based questions are asked, you are right there to answer in the most effective manner. That is the reason why, I mean, if not in all the questions, at least in a few questions, I will try to show to you how one question with some bit of difference was asked in different question papers here, so that you are better equipped in the actual examination. Now coming to the other question, that is question number 1E. This is one of the dating techniques. I had in the test series incorporated at different places the questions on absolute and relative dating methods. Some of the individual methods we have actually covered, though not specifically this particular method. This method you could actually incorporate in the whole lot of dating techniques, but then when it comes to this specific question we did not ask, but dating related questions we have asked. Question number 2A, if you observe here, this is a question on Homo erectus. It was asked a good number of times in the exam, and I have incorporated in the paper number 6, question 2A. Similarly, when we go to question 2B, question 2B is a question on Clifford Geertz. The descriptions such as thick and thin descriptions and then deep and shallow descriptions, they have been discussed with you in the test series programs whenever we had questions such as Geertz and Turner, etc. So from that inference you can perhaps write this answer, and hence I am mentioning it as it is being discussed. Coming to the other question here, that is 2C. 2C, we have discussed, we have presented this in Sosin classes mentorship paper 4, question number 3C. You can see on the 2 sides here. You can read the question here. Describe the features of early farming cultures and Neolithic cultures of the Near East. For this you can see the question here 3C, that is Neolithic culture, general features, and Indian site references. Some of the Indian site references are going to be the Near East sites. Coming to the third question here, 3A, political organizations of the simple societies and how they establish power, authority, etc. I have given this across different questions, as you could see on the screen. Question numbers 8, 9 and 10. One is about tribe level political organizations, primitive law characteristics, customary law in the northeastern tribes of India. So these are some variants which actually would be used as examples in this particular question. In the other question papers I have added several other variants of the questions. Now coming to The 3B, that is micro and macro evolution. I did not use these words micro and macro directly in our question papers, but then at several places we have added Darwinian, pre and post Darwinian ideas, population genetics, etc. So I am not here making any claim of having asked this particular question in toto. Coming to 4A, elaborate the scope of anthropology, elucidating its uniqueness in the field of social sciences. This was a pretty well expected question. You can see the variants that are being asked. Anthropology and psychology, that is one question, and then anthropology and sociology is one other question. And in one other paper we have also incorporated anthropology as one of the social sciences. Now coming to 4B here. This is a question about branches of linguistic anthropology and use of language in the socio-cultural settings, as you could see in this neighboring paper here. Question number 6, that is social context of use of language. Social context of use of language. This is the second part of the question. And when it comes to branches of anthropology, we have incorporated that question in the important areas list of that year, list number 2, question number 15. So as you could see here, sociolinguistics in this particular paper, one of the branches of linguistic anthropology, that is sociolinguistics. Let me take you to 4C, that is chromosomal aberrations and how can they play an important role in human body and mind. Chromosomal aberrations related questions, plenty of them I have actually asked in the exam. One is here in the Anthropology mentorship program of Sosin classes, paper 35, question 5U. As you can see on the screen, autosomal chromosomal aberrations, that is what is asked in 5E. This is one of the questions. Coming to the other questions, question number 5A, human adolescent growth spurt. You can see here human adolescent growth spurt, and the question is question number 8 in paper 14, adolescence as a stage of human growth. 5B is losses and gains of erect posture. Losses and gains of erect posture. This has been asked in several questions throughout our course, and we have had beautiful discussions on the trade-off of erect posture, what is lost and what is gained, etc. Specifically with that terminology, I didn't ask a question, so I think this is a second question in the whole paper where specifically that is not asked. And then 5C, that is race a valid and biologically meaningful concept? One of the very favorite questions of the examiner, that is race valid biologically and a meaningful concept? You can see question number 1, biologic race and sociological race. Coming to the other questions here, 5D. 5D is descent groups, and the several papers where I have asked such kind of question, you can see a couple of them here. That is paper number 5, question 7, and in paper 20 also I have asked. So the question is descent groups. You can see here question number 7, explain how descent is a culture rule. Explain how descent is a culture rule. And in some other places also, in question number 22A, I have asked that. And coming to 5E, 5E is mode of economic subsistences, where you can see the question number 4 and question number 6 in paper 4 of mentorship program. Contemporary status of foraging societies, pastoralism as a mode of economic subsistence. Coming to 6A, this is one other question that is that has been a favorite of the examiner. What is acclimatization, and discuss the adaptive responses to high altitude and cold temperature adaptation. Some of the questions where this question was asked, paper number 22. Question 6a, as you could see here, discuss high altitude adaptation of humans with case studies. In paper 13, question A, I had asked about cold temperature adaptation. Coming to the other one, question 6b, still in paper 1, that is, how are the cases of disputed paternity solved? We have incorporated that in Anthrom and paper 17, question number 7. Explain the techniques used in paternity diagnosis. So I hope you are enjoying this comparative journey. Coming to 6C. This is a question about critically evaluate Louis Morgan's classification of family. I had given a question without mentioning the thinker. 4A, if you could see, present an account of different types of family. So naturally you would be writing Louis Morgan himself. Coming to 7A, this is a question about critically examine different types of social stratification with suitable examples. You can see here directly a question on social stratification. Coming to here 7C, at several places this question was asked. What is anthropometry? Discuss the role in assessing the nutritional status and sports capability of a person. So paper 13, question number 2 is here, that is scope significance of anthropometry. So we see this at several places, as you could see. This is one, the second question, second paper, third paper, fourth paper. So in 4 different papers I had given the same kind of a question, I mean from that same area. I mean that is really incredible kind of a thing. That was the reason why I was mentioning that if you are really pretty serious about your test series programs and writing programs, take them seriously, put every effort. See, in fact, getting a question exactly the same is difficult, but then if you're doing the related areas, and then if you are establishing that rhythm of generating an answer in your optional, I mean that would take you really far in your success. Now let me talk about question number 8. So this is a question number 8A, about tools of data collection in conducting anthropological research. Paper 9, questions 3 to 7 have this. By mistake I have got 13 here. So question number 3 to 7 in paper 9. Those 4 major questions are from. Now coming here, this is 8B, discuss the physiological and evolutionary theories of aging. As I mentioned here, paper 14, question number 6, socio-economic theories of aging. The last question, that is 8C, explain the structural analysis of kinship as proposed by Levi-Strauss. If you could see 3A, Levi-Strauss structuralism. So I think that is really interesting to figure out. Let me also give you some questions, similar way in which in paper 2 several of the questions are actually repeated. Let me take you to that journey as well. So that is paper 2, Anthropology, CSE 2021. Now coming to this very first question, paper 2, question number 1A, Purushartha and the right years living today. This I have incorporated here in 1C of Anthroment program, paper 21, relevance of the concept of Purushartha in contemporary times. Coming to 1B, this is a question related to relevance of tribe caste continuum. You can see this in 3C. I'll highlight for you. This is the question tribe caste continuum that we have asked in our test program. UPSC asking this, relevance of tribe and caste continuum. Coming to 1D, this is a question, factionalism and politics in rural India. I have incorporated that here, class and state, in list 2 of question, list 2 question 3. So that goes closely, factions, class and caste, though that is not the exact kind of a title that is used. Coming to question 2A, This is about Indus civilization. Discuss the origin of Indus civilization. Mention the evidences of its endogenous origin from pre-Harappan site. So basically it is talking about evolution of Harappan civilizational region along with the general characteristics. So you can find that in question number 6, which is about the salient features of Indus civilization, and evolution forms one of them. Coming to paper 2b, the question reads as give the distribution and characteristics of upper Paleolithic cultures in India. We have several of them. One of the questions is explain the tool typologies and technologies related to Paleolithic culture. So, sir, always remember, I had always been saying this in your classes, in your test series, etc., that when you study archaeology, you will have to give it the due attention. That out of 500 marks, sometimes 170 marks are coming from archaeology and fossil evidences. It makes really a meaningful thing to spend quite a bit of amount on archaeology. Kindly do that. And this was a question on Paleolithic. Coming to the other question, paper 2, question number 2C. I have mentioned that in mentorship program, paper 33 and question 2B. As you could see here, this is about discuss the morphological features of Ramapithecus and Ramapithecus occurring in our program in this particular paper. Now coming to the other question, question 3b, it reads about contributions of S.C. Roy in highlighting the role of customary law in tribal India. I have given S.C. Roy from different parameters throughout the mentorship program. I have actually written here, if you could see, paper 25, question 5, paper 40, question 5, paper 30, and then paper 37. So this was one question that was highly expected, and so the different kinds of questions that I had given were dealing with S.C. Roy in different parameters, and hence a very interesting thing to read from. Then we have question 3C, that is about Christianity and impact of Christianity on culture and identity. So I have incorporated this in 2 different papers. One is question number paper number 24, question 5A, if you could see here, Christianity and Islam among the tribes of India. And in fact, in paper 12, question 1A, I have used it as Christianization as a mechanism of social change. Coming to question 4b, Panchayat Raj institutions and how they have transformed. Panchayat Raj institutions and how they have transformed traditional power hierarchy in rural India. For this, you can perhaps read 4th question B bit. That is how 4th A rather, Panchayati Raj and social change among Indian tribes. So you can see a direct kind of a question out there. Coming to 4C, this is about educational related problems of tribes of India, and we can see that at 2 different places being asked in our own program. And as you could see here, 5A talks about education and presenting whatever kinds of measures that were taken, etc. And similarly, I have incorporated that in paper 10, question 4, educational problems related to tribes. Now coming to 5A, 5A is a question on urbanization and tribal institutions. This was asked in our program in paper number 20, question number 1B, that is culture contact, and 4B, how because of impact of different other cultures, how the tribal societies have changed. So that is one question. And Let me take you quickly through the other things. 5D, concept of tribe and Indian census. We have mentioned this in list 2 important areas of the last year, question number 24. We also have incorporated the 5th question, politics of recognition and deprivation in our important areas. Then we have 6A, that is about Forest Rights Act, and you can see on the right hand side, if you observe question number 2, evolution of forest rights policy, forest policy of India. Similarly, at some other places we try to incorporate latest amendments introduced for Forest Rights Act. Now coming to, that's where I am trying to make a mention here. This is paper 2 question 6A again, that is Forest Rights Act of 2006. You can see down below, that is about paper 46 and question number 4C. As you could see here, 4C deals with contributions of Forest Rights Act. So that is exactly the same question that I had asked. Let me get you some more questions. For example, here as you could see, 7B on your screen left hand side. This is a question related to resettlement and rehabilitation because of developmental programs in India. As you could see here, question number 5A, resettlement and rehabilitation policy of India. At some other place also we have asked the same question. Similarly, the questions 7C, this is related to non-governmental organizations. We have asked indirectly in several ways. UPSC was asking related to women, tribal women empowerment and NGOs role. We had asked in certain other sense, not specifically with regard to the tribal women. Coming to 8A of this paper, this is about the structural changes, agrarian social structural changes. You can actually see this very question 4A. Write an essay on the changing agrarian social structure from pre-British to the current times. So I think you have got a clue of how close the questions have been. More than 80% of the questions have occurred in these papers in most of the cases in the same verbatim, the same kind of a thing. Now, I mean, this I wanted to bring to you in order for you to understand that if you're doing this particular mentorship program, you are getting this opportunity of attempting the questions that are expected for that year and that are going to come in the UPSC in more or less the same way. I'm not saying that every question we will be in a position to, but then 80% is really mind-boggling, and I hope you would make a best use of such kind of programs that we bring for in the interest of the students. For further details, you can actually call us, and I am leaving in the description the link related to Anthro mentorship program and other writing programs that actually I am taking up, both in Anthropology optional and the General Studies writing programs for the year 2022 main examination. And for further details, you can perhaps get to talk to us and kindly get in touch for any kind of further help from me. I mean, I would be rather delighted to be of help to you. Have a great time, and those of you who are writing main examination, kindly try to write right. That's where I leave you. Have a good time.